No.
Are you there yet?
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 No.
Are you there?
No.
Are you there?
No.
Whoa, that was amazing! Perfect aim!
What are you talking about? I missed.
Hello and welcome back to Ben and Mike's Film Room. And we just watched The Mummy Returns.
Yes. Does it have a subtitle? Is that it?
Attack of the Rock.
Attack of the Rock. It's coming. The Rock.
There are many of them, and they are tiny. It's called sand.
I hate sand.
It's coarse and it's
Rough and it gets everywhere.
and we always smell what it's cooking.
The sand? Can you smell what the sand is cooking?
Yes, I believe
It's
that's
goopy scorpions.
yes, the goopiest scorpion.
Oh, that was so gross.
But
when
it
I
was
first
so-
saw it, I was
but-
so confused and disgusted.
It was a depiction of the realism of what is to come from the Scorpion King.
And so he makes a pact with Anubis, right?
We're just jumping in.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so
Like, you already know this movie. We're
He-
not going to summarize it.
he
for
makes
you.
a pact with Anubis, and then a scorpion pops out, and he's like, I know what I must do. Eat the scorpion.
Well, let's be clear. Everyone thought everything was a sign of the gods back in the day.
Well, in fairness, it was. We're in a movie. And then a giant swarm of fighting dogs came, and they took over the city and
I
whatever.
thought Egypt was cats.
Well, they're afraid of cats. They're more dog people. That's the whole
But I
thing.
thought Egypt was about cats.
They do like cats. I always thought cats were cool.
And
but I
why
guess...
are more people reincarnated?
And what is the deal with reincarnation? We'll get to that.
Did we bring that up in the first one?
I think a tiny bit. I think we said we would talk about it more in this one.
Okay.
So, I have to confess, in research of this movie, I watched the original Mummy from 1932. And I have to say, it did not help my understanding of this movie at all.
Like, do you remember that time that Harry had a vision of Voldemort in a suit?
What?
Yeah, it was that.
Voldemort in a suit?
Yes. That's a thing. Voldemort, like, it was in the fifth one. when he was
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yes.
I only know that because I watched a video where they drew attention to it. Like, if you told me that Voldemort was in a suit, I would not have believed you. But yes, in the original Mummy, the mummy is like in a suit for like.
The whole movie!
But
There's
it's
like
only-
a single moment where he's tied up and then he runs away and the guy who lets him free loses his mind and dies.
I mean, granted, it's only an hour.
Yeah, but it is a long hour. Like, it feels much longer than this movie. Oh man. It's when it's one of those kind of movies where they tell you something is happening and therefore it is happening. And that's it. There's no way, it's not communicating.
Like what?
You know how movies they say show don't tell, right?
Yes, and what are this?
These are the opposite, where they tell you what's happening only, and you have to assume that is what's happening. They're like, oh no, must be possessed by this ancient Egyptian god.
Well, the thing is, back in the day, it was also like, let's just translate plays into film.
Well, I don't
Like
know
the-
if the Mummy.
The style of
It
plays.
was much more theatrical. It's true.
Yes. So,
Spoiler: the
there's a mummy.
god Isis, I think, saves the day. Isis saves the day.
Yay! Now, if only they could keep doing that.
Yes, the god Isis.
I'm sorry, that was too political.
You're very political.
yes.
So this movie is a really good sequel, I think.
Now, I've heard thoughts of like it's not as good as it's like bad.
I think it's not
I
as
feel-
good if you want it to be the same genre as the first one.
Let it be known that this movie ran so like was on our regular rotation back in the day.
Oh man, and we didn't watch the first one very often because it was a little too scary.
No, because we didn't have it.
I didn't watch it because it was too scary.
We didn't have the DVD of it.
So
We only had the second
why
one.
would we only? So we're those people that I always wondered about.
Yes, we only ever had The Mummy Returns and The Scorpion King. I'm sure we bought it in like a double DVD pack.
There's no other explanation.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I watched The Scorpion King once because I'm like,
Did we ever find out if the Scorpion King is a real thing?
no, and I don't. I will
Don't
never
you want to know?
no because it's like I don't care. Anyway,
So, I would have to say this movie does the first movie in the first half, and then the second movie the second half is a separate movie. Because the first part of it, you're like, oh, we need Emotep's power to fight the Scorpion King.
Do you remember the time when everything fell? Let's do that again, though with pillars.
Yeah, that was great.
He had trouble,
I can explain everything.
He had trouble remembering what I was talking about.
It takes me a second. And the kid can
No, we
explain
have
everything.
to go. The audience isn't there, but they will come eventually.
Yes. I mean, the little boy is really good. He's really, really good.
I kept bringing this up because he chose to audition over this. He chose to audition for this instead of Harry Potter.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I knew he missed out on Harry Potter. I didn't know it was for this movie.
Yes!
This kid is way better than Daniel Radcliffe was in the first Harry Potter.
Yeah, I mean, he's really, think about
He's
it.
good.
How many good child actors are there from, the early 2000s?
Almost none.
I believe, there are some things that it's just, thematically, he said, oh, get a room, you two, as they said in the 1930s.
Yeah.
But it's I just get, he also demonstrates some miraculous skills, as if by magic.
Such as his knowing of...
No, such as his amazing sand sculptures.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the sand sculptures are so good. He's like, I know where we're going next based on these clues. Let me build an accurate display of the most recognizable portion of the area.
It's amazing.
But I will say, good child actor...
That also implies he never drank any water. Because he asked for water and then he poured it on the sand.
I didn't even think of that. He hasn't had water in 4 days. He's dead.
Oh my goodness.
I will say that a good child actor almost always is a symptom of really good directing. I don't... a bad child actor doesn't necessarily mean that kid is bad at acting.
Well,
if you give them less, even the greatest actors can do really badly
this kid...
in Star Wars Episode 1.
you
just give them poor direction and they ruin the thing.
Hayden Christensen hasn't had his, comeback like Keanu Reeves.
Did from Star Wars, yes, go on.
Because it's okay, I'm sorry. Hayden Christensen is not the same actor as the kid.
I was so confused where you were going with that. But...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I actually thought for a while that this was the same kid.
As Annie?
Yes.
Little Orphan Annie?
I hate that name. I hate it. It never sounds right to
Nope.
me. It's that's such not a guy name. Even a nickname you would never call.
So what is this kid's name? In Mummy King
Rick.
Return. Rick?
Rick O'Connell. No, it's Bill. No,
Bill?
Bick.
Okay.
Well, but yes,
Ted O'Connell, the son.
Are you sure?
No. So this kid's really good. The movie is good. They are much more action focused in this one. The first one was more horror themes, but they hit a lot of the same beats in this one, and it's more adventure themed. Alex Baldwin.
And I have to admit, he had the cutest photo on IMDb.
Oh, that is the cutest thing. It's the one with the 2 thumbs up. If you find it.
Oh my goodness! It's it's a shame that he only the last thing he did was in 2013, and he was in 4 episodes of a show called House of Anubis.
Wow! See, sticking with that Egyptian theme.
Yep.
See, you just got locked in. You get typecasted as an Egyptian.
It was a Nickelodeon show.
Wow.
Or it might have been a Canadian show that they then put on Nickelodeon. It has a 7.4 on IMDb.
Wow, very, very interesting. So,
It went for 2 years. Oh my goodness, it was 15 minutes each. Yes, it was Nickelodeon. It went for 15 minutes each, and there's 146 episodes.
of a show I've never heard that has pretty
It
good
must
ratings?
have been like, it must have been like daily, not even. It's like there are 5 episodes in one day. Yeah, there must have been like booked over like an hour or something. It's
very, very interesting.
sidetracked, but
Yeah.
still, it's like he has no career now. I'm sure he works at a deli.
Deli. Is he the owner of the deli, or is he just like
He's
the
the
guy
son-
wrapping the meat?
Why not both?
That's true. The owner can do that. I'm not
Because
against-
Zach from Zach and Cody works with his family at the butcher's.
in real life.
Yes,
Why?
because he doesn't want to do acting.
Well, why? I don't understand.
'Cause
if
he
you
doesn't-
are rich as a child, why wouldn't you just like be done
He is done.
working? Why would you even be a butcher?
You know what? He still gets royalties because it's on Disney Plus now.
That's what I'm talking about. So this kid deserves some royalties for The Mummy Returns.
I'm sure he still gets them.
That'd
when
be awesome.
When they play it on TBS or Stars or HBO.
They're gonna play it on HBO. Get a room, you two.
Yes.
The HBO edit of The Mummy Returns. Only the weird makeout scene between the girl and the
And the
mummy.
mummy.
Ugh. Why did they decide to do that? Like, cut back to the mummy part?
I don't know. Horror.
Yeah, it was just gross. It wasn't, like, scary.
I
It was
mean,
just
okay.
gross.
It's just like, I just have such nostalgia for this movie. It was the only Mummy movie I ever really watched. It wasn't until like 6 or 7 years later did I see the original Mummy.
Wow.
The
I-
original remake of
I
the Mummy.
remember very fondly from the little pygmy skeleton things all the way
Are
until
we
they're
recording?
running
Are we recording?
into the pyramid.
Okay, good.
That's the part that was like
Oh, you mean like
the part I
Brendan
remember the most vividly, where he's like, "I have to outrun the sun,"
which is like not how the sun
this
works
isn't how
at
the
all.
sunrise works.
I mean,
But
it just
if you're in a valley with certain trees, maybe the sun can crest over the top.
but it's not
or-
a valley.
I'm just giving some people the benefit. Obviously,
Also-
it's a magical sun.
Also, when I found out that I forget his name, but the guy who flies the blimp, that
Mhm.
he wasn't in the first one, I was extremely disappointed because it implied in this movie it's implied that they have met before.
Yeah, they've been on all sorts of adventures, and he always gets shot.
Yes.
Does he get shot in this one?
Nope.
Why didn't he get shot? What a letdown in storytelling.
Maybe
You
he
mentioned
comes-
every time I'm with
Maybe
you, I
he
get
comes
shot.
back
and then-
in the Mummy the cartoon.
I haven't seen it. so-
I haven't either.
Oh man, do we
That's why
have to
I
watch
said-
that?
No.
How many episodes are there?
Probably like 50.
50.
Probably.
You can look up how many House of Anubis episodes there are, but you can't look up how many the Mummy 3 Turns. That should be the third one's actual
26
title.
episodes.
That's doable. They're probably 20-minute episodes.
They do exist on DVD. I only know this because I saw them at Goodwill once.
Missed gems. So overall, this movie,
It had some pretty high. There's like 8.0 like rated episodes.
yeah. I think overall, movie allows you to disconnect from the universe and not think about its rules, because none of the rules in the show make any sense at all.
I mean, all the curses like overlap one another.
Well, yeah, first of all, they got Emotep out of this glowy, goopy amberstone
I
thing.
thought it was goop for like my entire life,
It looks
but
like
then I
an-
realized, oh, it's just bad CGI that's crystallized. You know, that's all it is.
So he comes out of bad. Where did that come from? He fell into like a pool of souls in the last one.
I'm sure
I guess they
I'm
took it
sure
out
there's
and
a co-
cooked
I'm
it
sure-
into a crystal.
I'm sure there's a comic somewhere.
That some dedicated fan who loves both movies decides
Made
to
it
connect.
canon.
So he comes out of the crystal, and he's like, "What year is it? It's the year of the scorpion. Oh, hot diggity dog! It's my turn to take over the Armory of Anubis and destroy the Scorpion King. Woohoo!" That's his plan. And then but he's able to get reanimated before the box is opened, which I don't know if that's allowed. And then he sucks out the lives of those guys.
As I told you last time, this is from the era.
Yeah, I'm saying like
Where-
so many things happen that don't make any
This
sense.
is from the era when people did not care about continuity.
Yeah, I
They
mean
only
like
cared about having a good time, and even then, no.
yeah, like all the soldiers
Like,
that
I mean-
were sent by
In
like
this-
he opened up a jar and like sand soldiers appeared that like slowly fell apart as they had a chase on a double-decker bus in the 30s.
Yeah.
Did that anyway.
Oh my goodness.
And
But how fast could they go in the 30s?
I know. And O'Connell, the hero, it turns out had a Magi tattoo all along.
Yes, also you were doing that on your wrong
I'm
arm.
circling on the arm. It doesn't matter. It's silent. No one can hear my arm circling. No! That's what it sounds like.
sign languaging to all of the
This
deaf.
podcast has been recorded in sign language. So, like, they retcon that. The girl, it turns out, is reincarnated daughter of the pharaoh, but just kidding. Her body is reincarnated and the spirit is somewhere else? And
Well, the thing-
what?
Well, the thing is, like,
What?
she,
The Scorpion King is literally a scorpion man.
It only makes sense.
And there's a spear of Osiris that's crucial to the killing of the Scorpion King, found and brought entirely on accident through the entire movie. And Imhotep gets his powers ripped from him, because that's a thing you can do.
I mean, they did that in the last one.
And if Anubis can rip the powers away from Imhotep, why didn't he just do that?
Oh yeah, he's also
At the start.
He also goes into this room where it's like he crosses the threshold of the temple or something, and he's like, my power's been taken away. No, they haven't.
Yeah, they were. There was all those the swooshies.
But he could still shake things from a
But
distance.
really weakly.
So, nothing.
He's like, nothing. I mean, if I could shake things from a distance, I would count it as telekinetic powers. I was like, watch this.
Well, maybe that'll come up later.
Yeah.
But
Shh. There's a million things that make zero sense, but we don't care. You don't care about that stuff.
Because
you don't care about the reality
this-
of Imhotep now being able to control water. That doesn't matter.
because water is sand?
Water is just wet sand.
He's controlling the
The
he's
sand
around
in
the water.
We did it! Continuity
it's like-
contained.
It's like some kind of Avatar thing where they can control the mud.
Hey!
The mud bending.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of got less important in the Korra series with the lava bending and the stuff. So.
That doesn't matter. It's not as good.
But the lava bending's cool. The world is expanded on well.
Okay, enough.
Okay.
Go watch that show instead of.
Instead of this? No!
Not
This
instead of-
movie is great!
Let me just say, these two movies are great back to back. I think if you had a double feature, and if you like the first Mummy, I feel like you'll like the second one.
It's more relaxed than the first one because you're just... you already know the heroes cannot be killed. They are immune to death.
I mean,
There is no danger. It's just an adventure.
You do realize that that's almost the case for literally every movie.
Exactly, but you feel it in the second one. In the first one, you are told to not think that throughout the movie. Or at least in parts of it.
So, is the Scorpion King a mummy?
He's a giant scorpion man.
Also, another thing, was he just sitting behind that door this entire time?
I don't
was
know. I feel like he was summoned when the army...
From where?
From
Waking-
the wristband
Is it like
7 days
is it like
later.
is it like in Thor Ragnarok when Hela smashes down and wakes up her dog?
Yeah, it's more like that.
Okay.
Where it can only happen in
not
the
like
year
the
of the
producers
scorpion.
of this movie actually cared about that.
When it's the year of the scorpion, then the army of Anubis can be summoned by the wristband thing.
Okay, I could buy that. 'Cause,
That's
there
all
was
I got.
another thing. I think it was in the last movie.
And the diamond is not important to the plot.
No, it's just his greed.
but
I
he
feel-
gets it at the end.
I mean, wouldn't you want it?
Yeah, but there's
We-
nothing. There's like nothing to that part.
we live-
And they don't follow up on it on the third one, do they?
I can't remember.
Because if
but,
he had that
do you
giant,
do you remember how the third one ends?
no.
Oh, I'm not telling you. It's like dumb joke, but it's like it was a joke that I would make. It's in text.
Oh man, no. Well, we'll get to it.
It's so dumb, but I love it.
I think this movie knows exactly what it is and enjoys every bit of it. I think the fight with the size, right, between
I mean, also
Nefertiri and Anaxunamun
yes,
was fun.
yes.
And they're like, are the face things actual armor or not? Unknown. Not
Also,
important
would
right
like to
now.
know some rude trivia.
Rude trivia.
Yes, it was originally it was gonna be, you know what, like Nefertiti sounds like something. It was actually gonna be what it sounds like, but they thought they'd make boob jokes.
Yeah. And the cast
And
would
then they-
endlessly make those jokes.
Like the cast matters.
I think it does.
And I can't remember. There was another piece of that.
That's it.
Yes.
Wow.
Also, this
Wow,
this
wow.
movie was like, they called him like the director the day after the first one came out, and said like, we would like another one, please.
Wow. Wow.
Also, this is the first movie that The Rock was in.
And if you recall his famous first words in film, go ahead.
I feel like it's like 3 syllables, but I remember it as 3 syllables, but I feel like it's 4. It's like Octu Machente.
It's so great.
And I feel like for the longest time, I referred to The Rock as the Scorpion King or something like that. Because, like, for another thing, like, for, like, years and years, I didn't know the Rock was a wrestler.
Did you know, in my Plex right now, it refers to Dwayne Johnson as Matthias the Scorpion King?
Matthias.
Really? It's Matthias? That's not how you spell Matthias.
Well, sure, it's because in the Scorpion King movie, he has a name.
Wow.
That's all I know about that, because
Okay.
I was actually watching The Rock's reaction video to the Scorpion King,
Wow.
which is like 15 minutes long. And it's not even the whole movie, I don't think.
Well, I mean, the movie's longer than that, so that makes sense.
Well, shut up.
So, sadly, this is about all I know about Egyptian mythology, is the stuff in these kind of movies.
And that's all you'll ever need.
I mean, isn't there gods of Egypt? I haven't seen that
there's
one.
Kings of gods of men of Egypt?
That's about Moses, isn't it?
No, that's Exodus.
Exodus gods and kings,
Yes.
or Exodus kings of men of
Egypt.
Christian Bale. Wasn't he Moses or something?
I think Ben Kingsley. I think was the emperor. Not the
that
emperor.
doesn't make any sense.
Everyone in that movie was white.
Yeah.
I do think Ben Kingsley was in that movie.
You know, in fairness, Emotep is not.
my favorite
Yeah, go
my
ahead.
favorite actor, because he, like, other than what's his name, Brendan Fraser. I'm sorry, I forgot you. Our
Yeah.
number one fan, Brendan Fraser. He's quietly listening in his headphones with a blanket over his head.
You know, you gotta have some self care.
Is what I had to pull up his name. I had to get it right.
Obviously, his name is Beautiful Johnny Depp. Handsome Johnny Depp?
Handsome.
We called him Handsome Johnny Depp throughout the watching of it, which is great because that implies regular Johnny Depp is the ugly one.
Yes.
So,
He has a terrible goatee and
Ardeth
mustache.
Bay, is that who you're talking about? The character's name?
Or what?
Ardeth Bay?
No, we're talking about the guy who did the voice of the clip at the beginning.
Isn't that Ardeth Bay?
Not at all. It's Adwale Akinwe Ekbaji.
Oh, you mean the audio clip of our podcast. I thought you meant the beginning of the movie with the voiceover. Yes.
Now read it.
No.
He's played many people. No, he hasn't. He's done things, but he was also in Lost, and he was Killer Croc.
It says he's also in Thor: Dark World
I'm sure he's a
as
orc.
Algrim / Curse
Curse.
with a K.
Okay. So, yeah, I like him because I like seeing him. Also, apparently he was in 2 episodes of Game of
Oh,
Thrones.
he was Killer Croc? You
Yes.
said?
Yes. Oh, man. I loved him as Mr. Echo. Oh, he was also in The Bourne Identity.
Wow. Well, he's really good in this movie. He's very
He
fun.
was also in G.I. Joe, The
I-
Rise of Cobra, just like Brendan Fraser and the director of this movie.
It's all the same movie. Didn't they say this is the same universe as that movie?
I mean, the director of this movie said that Brendan Fraser's character in G.I. Joe was a descendant of Rick O'Connell.
Sounds legit. Seems good enough.
But, like, does anyone care? They're
My hand is raised.
They are doing a... Oh, what are they doing? What's the G.I. Joe that doesn't talk? You know what I'm talking about?
He's a
Not
ninja.
G.I. Joe, they're a Cobra member
He's
that
a
doesn't
ninja
talk.
guy. Is he white ninja guy?
I think so. He doesn't speak. They're making a movie. They're making a new movie about him.
Is it a silent movie?
I doubt it.
Ba-dumps.
But yeah, it's so. Who cares about anything anymore? Everything sucks.
And this movie is great because you get to forget about all of that because you don't care.
There's no coronavirus.
There's no corona. There's only Emotep. And I'm sad that the third one doesn't have Emotep.
I'm sorry, there was never a third one.
Of Mummy Returns,
The Mummy Returns again.
I wish they had Emotep come back again. Because it's the Mummy. Is there any other Mummy? No. They're all inferior to the Mummy. Emotep.
Well, I mean, it's basically a mummy in the next one.
They really... For me, when I watched it, I was like, they're really forcing this mummy concept on this one.
I mean,
I love the idea. The terracotta stuff's really cool.
Not yet, Ben.
We will talk about that next time.
But I distinctly remember you being upset that it's the mummy. Like,
Yeah.
Do you remember, like...
It
it's
doesn't
much
compare
more-
to the second one at all.
It doesn't compare to the first or second. It's like a completely different movie. It's basically going to be the new Mulan.
Wow, I'm really interested in comparing those two movies.
There's like a... You know what? I can't say that for sure since that movie's not out yet.
It's true.
But it's like...
Based on what we've seen, there's like weird pieces of magic
Yeah.
in the new Mulan trailer.
Which I
And-
feel like that... Like, again, I don't know. We're talking about the Mulan...
We're talking about the
Mulan.
third. We're talking about Mulan and the third movie when we should be talking about the second movie. I think this movie is definitely worth watching. If you like the first one at all, the second one's good. If you only like it because it has scary bits, you will hate this movie.
I don't feel like anyone cares about the scary bits.
There aren't that
There
many
is
scary
a
bits.
wonderfully goopy hand in this one, though.
The goopy hand? Oh,
When
like
he-
when the snotty hand
Yes.
of the... Because he... What's
Again,
the priest guy
what
puts
is
his
it-
arm in
what-
there?
Who is this podcast for? People who have seen it, people who haven't seen it, who
It's
knows?
It's obviously for people who've seen it, but
Watch
haven't
it again!
watched it in a while. That's clearly what we're saying. It says rewatch this movie.
We watch it, if anything, for Brendan Fraser.
Yes. Have you seen Brandon Fraser recently? No, you haven't.
I mean,
watch his movies. They're surprisingly good, and The Mummy is him
Remember
at the
that-
peak of his powers.
Remember that time he said the N-word?
No,
He did.
he didn't.
In Blast from the Past.
I watched that movie recently, and it wasn't the full N-word. It was a variant that is unacceptable, but
It was a word that Martin Luther King Jr. would say.
yes.
He would. I don't think he would ever say the
No.
hard R.
Anyway,
I'm
So,
sorry.
that-
It's funny that exists.
that
if someone did-
movie. Yeah, what a different.
If we ever review Blast from the Past,
No.
that will be the clip.
No, it will not. Alright, so next time, The Mummy 3, The Mummening.
Yes.
What's this one called? The Mummy 3, or The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Featuring Jet Li. I like Jet Li.
He's like not in it. He doesn't. I don't.
I've only seen a few movies with Jet Li, like Hero and Forbidden Kingdom. So not all anything that he's done really. Didn't he do that one where there were like a bunch of them?
You are the wrong person to be asking.
Did you see the one where there were a bunch of different universes of him and he was going around killing the other ones of him so he could get stronger?
Can I watch this anime that you speak?
It's like Highlander but with Jet Li.
Can I? That
And the movie was originally made for The Rock to be that character, and instead it was Jet Li.
How much you're gonna bet in like 5 years they're gonna remake that movie with The Rock?
I mean, they've made every other movie. There's nothing left. I mean, he's already been like a one-legged skyscraper climbing man. Have you seen that movie?
I want to.
It is ridiculous.
I've heard it's just Die Hard.
Yeah, I mean,
Like Die Hard in concept, but bad execution.
but with one limb.
You haven't even seen Die Hard.
I have seen Die Hard. Thank you very much.
Watch it again. It's much. Well, we're talking about
Yeah.
much better movies and much worse movies and movies that
We've
I don't
talked a
even know.
lot about just random movies, but The Mummy Returns is good.
It's fun.
It's very fun.
This is cursed. That is cursed.
It's totally worth the rewatch. You're like, oh man, what should I watch? I haven't watched something. Just stop what you're doing.
Watch The Mummy
Watch
Returns
The Mummy
only.
Returns. Over and over forever. And the little tiny pygmy skeleton guy will jump on your head
Watch only.
and push you further
watch
into
only
the...
the second installment of every franchise.
You know, maybe
Because like
that'll work.
The Mummy, Transformers, Fast and the Furious,
No! This is a terrible list.
Planet of the Apes,
Planet of the Apes 2.
new and old.
I haven't seen the old Planet of the Apes
They
2.
are garbage films. I like the third one more than the second.
I saw the first one and I
Because
loved
it goes into the this is going off a real weird
Well, we were
tangent,
talking
but I
about
don't
watching
care.
all the Planet of the Apes movies.
But I don't care.
I pushed
because
for every
the
single
third
one.
one goes. Do I dare spoil it?
No, I don't want to hear it.
Okay,
There's
I
a
won't.
slight chance we'll watch these.
Oh.
Because I'm legitimately interested in watching a bunch of old movies. I don't know why. I've been on a Godzilla kick lately.
Well,
But anyway, that's it.
that's it. Good.
Good.
Good day to you, sir.
And to you.
Madam.